Welcome back to Realm of Rolls. If you're enjoying the show, make sure you're following or subscribed wherever you listen so you never miss an episode. If you'd like to support the podcast, you can find us on Patreon, where you can access behind-the-scenes content. You can also join our Discord to chat with us, talk theories, and keep up with campaign news. Links to both are in the episode bio. With that said, previously on Duskbound, the party survived the shadows of the clearing, only to find that the place itself held darker answers than the creatures guarding it. 6 skeletons remained chained to the stones, surrounded by pools of oily purple seawater where no seawater should have been. Among the ruins, Crest uncovered an amber ritual dagger and a black crystal shard, and after a little experimental self-stabbing, revealed a vision of the past. This is episode 4. Cannon Fodder.
What can... Basically, I want to see what I can learn about this dagger by looking at it, because I haven't properly inspected it. I just saw him with an amber dagger in his hand when I went over to check his wrists for the chain marks. Now I've seen the dagger in this vision. It's clearly important. What do you want me to do a test to see what I recognise about the dagger?
Yeah, I will have you do a test, but what I will ask is, what specifically are you hoping to learn?
I'm looking...
So are you looking at it from a religious point of view? Are you just wanting to do a general investigation? Are you looking to see what it's made of? What specifically are you looking at when you look at this dagger? Because there are several things which require...
Okay, so the first thing I'm going to look for is inscriptions.
Okay. It's very easy for you to see that there are no inscriptions on this dagger.
The second thing I'm going to be looking at is probably, actually materials. Like, a tipper is not he's not a religious man, so it would bear no context to him. But he is going to look at the construction of the dagger, and he's going to just test the edge himself. Assuming Crest allows him to test the edge with his thumb.
Yeah, that's fine. As long as you don't try and take it away from you, you can inspect it any which way you want to.
Clearly very protective of it.
Yeah, so testing the edge, it is very sharp, and you narrowly avoid drawing blood yourself. If you're looking at what it's made of, you can make me a nature check. And try not to roll a natural 1 again.
It's not a natural one. No. That is a...
It's a natural 2.
No, it's a 17 plus 1 for an 18.
18, yeah, okay. So with an 18, I'd say it's fairly easy for you to tell that this dagger is not... It's obviously not made of any metal. It's no worked material in the sense of it has been forged or it has been made in recent times. Looking at it, you can see that it is this amber colour. However, your initial kind of assessment of it that it is not made of amber as a material.
It's made...
It looks to be made...
Go on.
It looks to be made of more like a gem kind of material.
Oh, okay. So it was a gemstone big enough that someone has carved down into a knife.
Yes, it doesn't hold that kind of your usual kind of your assumption of amber being that you might see some bubbles in there, you might see some kind of creatures, small flies and stuff, almost encapsulated. It doesn't have any of that look of amber. It's amber in colour, but it very much seems to you to be more of a gem.
I suppose the last one, which will probably... No, because I can't realise it. I'm just going to outright say to Crest, who do you worship?
Worship is maybe the wrong word. I feel associated with, I feel attached to the Brine Mother is the name that comes to my mind. I cannot remember more. I do not know what my association with. Maybe I fear them, maybe they hunt me, maybe I am their loyal servant. I don't know.
The Coral Queen? I'm going to ask him that as a question mark.
It is... She is known by many names, I think, but I think I can summon these thoughts, but the names themselves, I am not sure. Maybe.
He's safe, Silas. Okay. How far away are we from the...
Would iron...
Go on. No,
Sorry.
No, go on. I'll let you out.
Much like a glass coffin remains to be seen.
Would Iron, bearing in mind he is of the sea, would Iron know anything of the history of this?
Could you roll me a religion check, please?
I can. Okay, that's a 13 plus a 1 for a 14.
Okay, so with a 14, you know that there are a great many number of gods and goddesses which are worshipped freely and openly across the archipelago. And from coming from the sea and being having spent time on ships, you know that sailors are quite a superstitious bunch, and a lot of them will use terminology that when you first hear it you think, what on earth does that mean? But as you've slowly kind of spent more time on the sea and aboard ships, ships specifically here, you'd have heard more references, and a lot of sailors will refer to things like Old Salt, the Moor Below, Coral Queen, as Tipper has just said, as Torran's just said. So you will recognise that those kind of names, there are a great number of names which are associated with not, as you would understand it, a specific god or goddess, but with the sea itself. It's a general belief that the sea is its own thing, the Moor Below, Old Salt. It's religion and superstition all tangled together.
Right.
So the word Brian Mother, you probably wouldn't have heard before.
Okay.
The Coral Queen, you might have heard before. But specifically knowing about the specifics as Torran would understand them, you don't know.
Okay, that's fine. Fair enough.
I know one person in all these seas who'll be able to answer every question we bloody need. We've got about as much chance of getting to her as we do of getting to the surface of the sun.
Well, then it does not matter. We must discover answers for ourselves. You seem very interested in the dagger. Do you recognise it beyond from the vision?
No.
And what of the name, the Brine Mother? You know her. Can you tell me more?
Every sailor knows her. Every sailor worships her. Everybody who goes to the seas worships her in their own way. She doesn't accept priesthoods or... Well, there's no known priesthoods to her that I'm aware of.
I don't worship her.
She doesn't take her worship in the form of devotion or prayers, just respect. That's my understanding of her. Every sailor who goes to sea and respects the sea, she accepts that as their worship, I suppose. And anybody who seeks to claim dominion over the sea meets her wrath.
I do not know.
Well,
what
my
this
understand.
is, but
No, my understanding of this is very different.
it feels like she somehow owns me. It is the only way I can describe this, and I do not know in what way.
I had heard many stories like this and many things in and out of the bars and the inns that he's been in and out of during his travels, so he kind of just scuffs the floor with his foot and shrugs his shoulders and thinks to himself, we'll just let people be what they want to be.
Sounds a lot like being
He doesn't
married.
judge.
Through wreck and ruin,
A strange
the
thing.
soul shall rise, till time doth set and ocean dries. Okay. We have a
What
choice.
is this you recite?
It's an old... Back when I was in the Armada, it's an old saying that was said amongst them. Supposedly it's in reverence to her. It's a small thing said. Something to do with a man's soul is the one that guides him through the seas, not her. Oh, I don't like this. This feels like her domain.
I assure you, I like this less.
We have a choice. The wildflower is maybe another, what? Oh, you say we've been going 4 hours at this point? Yes? 4.5 hours, was it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You'd say about 4.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wildflower's another 4 hours in that direction, or answers as to what this island is back in that clearing by my judgings anyway.
I think the same.
Well, my vote goes to the one that leads to a comfy hammock this evening.
Of course.
Bold assumption that you were afforded a hammock.
Who said?
Yeah.
Who said?
What do
Who
you
says I
think?
was given it?
He moves hammock to hammock.
Oh, yeah.
He's probably spent most of his. I was going to say probably spent most of his time drunken in the brig.
More
No,
bigger.
no.
What do you
Only
think?
some of it.
Sorry, Rick.
No, it's okay. Crest was just asking if what Ayaan thought.
Well, this is difficult for me. I don't have the same beliefs of the sea that clearly you do, but I do understand. I do understand where you were coming from, because, well, I've travelled a fair while and I've met a lot of people, many of them sailors.
Right.
I'm not sure that we are just going to be able to walk off this island. I'm not sure how we got onto it in the first place. That is the troubling bit.
How many
Won't know
crew?
until we try?
How much crew did the wildflower have? Aimed at Yaz. Sorry, that question was aimed at Yaz. Or is it I'm just making her have to look something up?
You are making me have to look something up. Just give me a hot second, because I've got 50 million pages in it.
So by the fact that the DM doesn't have the stats for the wildflower up, suggests to me that's not the direction we go.
Doesn't mean
Not
anything.
too meta.
They're in. I've got the stats on the screen. I'm just not looking at them.
How much crew does a frigate take? Google.
Me and Yaz have spent a long time googling how many crew sailing ships take.
Yeah, I've just got to. Just give me a second. I've just got to. Oh, hang on, I'm going the wrong way. That doesn't help. I've got to look it up. No, not that one. Okay, 4.
The answer is, depending on when, where, and purpose, between 50 and 400. So, there you go, Rick.
Depending on which nationality, yeah.
Era of the
Well, I
frigate.
think she described it as it looks like a man of war from the outside, but it's
But smaller.
smaller, like a frigate.
She looks like a steak, but she handles like a bistro. It's from Futurama when Zach Brannigan takes over the restaurant. He's like, she looks like a steakhouse, but handles like a bistro. He's flying this steakhouse through the universe.
That's very specific.
It is, isn't it? Hang on, I'm just trying to find. No, it's
Although I love the idea though that this is the setting where we could potentially meet a Zach Brannigan style character, and it somehow just fits perfectly.
That was probably one of his old lines when he used to go out on the pole.
Well, mutton dressed as pork doesn't quite work these days, does it?
Depends on where you live.
Half I'm looking at wonder what mutton is.
That's probably
Yeah. Oh dear.
I prefer a nice rump
Right.
myself.
Okay. Sorry for the delay, everyone. Just trying to look that one up quick.
It's okay.
Oh God.
Okay, so to answer the question from whoever it was,
Is that rump or breast?
fuck's sake, woman.
One of each, please.
Okay, so
He's going
to
to
answer
have his
the
hands full at the
question-
moment.
to answer the question,
42.
Be a motorboat. Sorry, continue.
Yes? Are you going pink or is it just the video? Is it just the camera?
I'm done. Okay, so to answer the
God.
question from whoever it was, who asked that? Sorry.
It was me who asked that. How many crew did the Wildflower have?
Yeah. So the crew for the Wildflower, excluding yourselves, was 32 by your count.
Okay, so it's quite sparsely crewed. All right.
Yeah, you would know that the Wildflower isn't. It's 80 foot in length. It's
31
not a particularly big ship. It's not a particularly big ship. It's 80 foot in length. It's probably the size. It would be classed as more of a brigantine, but it is essentially, it had the visuals of a warship, just scaled down to that size. So 32 is, you would know from your experience of sailing that for a brigantine, you can run it on 6 to 8 if you just want to sail. But if you want to keep her well armed, well crewed, you're looking at 24. So actually 32 is a little over the odds.
Basically, from a distance, it looks like a much bigger ship that is actually
Yeah.
that is further away than it actually is.
Yes, exactly.
Okay. How many sets of manacles were there in total?
By your count, I mean, you didn't all go round and count them deliberately, but you'd say there were probably 26, maybe.
Beautiful. I think we need to head to the wild.
If you're looking for the correlation between those two numbers, you wouldn't assume a correlation
okay, fine.
at that point, I don't think.
Okay. Oh God, Tipper is utterly torn on which.
But I am going to make notes.
You are going to make notes. Wow. You're welcome for your plotline.
That's okay. Just so you're aware, we call this a pencil and you use it to write. That's how you make the notes, okay?
I'm using a pen.
Oh, it's posh stuff. Okay, I like it.
Torran is actually torn as to part of him wants to go back to the clearing and wait for dusk to find out, to see if something happens. But the other part of him's like, the Wildflower is over there. We need to get off this island. Like, I have supplies for a few days on this island, but I don't know what the state of the Wildflower is.
And it's as you're kind of having this kind of debate, this conversation, that you do again hear the boom of the cannon ring out.
The dinner
For me-
bell is ringing.
This ship you were talking about has no meaning, no pull. I
you
would
mean?
very much like to discover the source of this, or the meaning of this vision. It cannot be an accident that we saw these people being placed in the same positions that we later found them. The shades came from. And maybe, should we wait a little longer, maybe it will grow dark and we can discover things. The ship is not going anywhere, right?
It's long.
You said you had this. Have you asked yourselves this question? You had this storm, yes? And this brought you in. I heard you talking on the beach. Yes?
Yeah.
There was a storm
So-
that hit before we woke up here, yeah.
So, have you asked yourself, if you are washed up overboard, then they may go looking for you, but surely not. Why would they wait at a random island for you? Why would they be looking for you?
Well, if they're not waiting for us, all the more reason for us to go that way before they
Well,
leave. And we can't.
The question is, if this is a storm that has knocked you all overboard, from your cabins no less, then the question remains, why is it not wrecked?
So what I will say here is everyone who was aboard the ship, so Torran, Silas and Ayaan-Jin, at the point the storm was hitting, you would have been scrambling about on deck, trying to help out whichever way you can, because it was a case of all hands on deck. We've got a real problem. So you were effectively swept off the top deck.
But then surely this would have happened to all of the crew, or many of them, yes?
Who says that it's not? Who says that they're not scattered elsewhere?
Well,
who's to say
for
that
you
there
to
isn't
know,
a single person on the ship waiting for somebody to come back to them?
on the plus side, a single person cannot take a ship anywhere, and they will wait for you.
But they can fire a cannon periodically.
Apparently. I know
Yes,
nothing
I was
of
just
cannons.
thinking that.
I assume that these are small things that only one person can use. But we met but this morning. It is your choice, and I would not be here by myself by choice. But I wish to see more. I wish to return to the clearing. I wish to see, perhaps, if it might offer answers to these visions. And yes, if you were to come with me, then I presume the next step would be maybe the next morning to travel to the ship.
Ayaan-Jin will sigh very loudly.
Well, all I can say is...
He's going to look...
Oh, no, Carol.
He's going to look at Torran. He's going to turn around, sort of tap his trident on the floor, which he's got firmly in hand, and he's going to start trudging back the way he just came.
Did
He's just going.
Ayaan-Jin make that wisdom check for me that I asked for? Because you asked a question and I asked you to make a wisdom check. Did you make it?
I didn't hear you actually ask for the wisdom check.
I think I said that if you wanted to ask any further questions, you would have to make a wisdom check for me.
So did you want to know the answer
Because
to your
I believe
question?
you asked about. Yeah, I can't remember what question you asked now, but I think it was.
I don't think it was a specific question that was asked.
I think it
No, I
was,
think I was just doing some kind of investigation on something.
I remember it because I thought to myself it would be relevant.
I think you were asking about the
No,
context,
I asked.
the context of the vision. Was it something? Was the vision something we saw in the past? Did we just have a
In the
vision
past.
of the past?
Yes.
Yes.
Or did we have
that's
a vision
right.
of the future? That was what you were
Yeah.
asking.
What a Mike.
Yeah.
Right, so as he... Yeah, he would pause to reiterate... to just think. He would pause to think as he starts to stomp off. He's going to be thinking to himself, was that vision something that had happened in the past? So that's what he'll do at that point. So wisdom check would be...
Don't roll a 1. It is your turn.
wisdom. Wisdom. I'm adding my bonus for that, aren't I?
Yeah, wisdom bonus.
Yeah, no, that's fine, yeah. So that's a 19 plus a 5 for a 24.
Okay, 24. And specifically thinking about the context of whether this is past or future, or I guess the time frame rooted around this vision, okay? With the conversations that you've had, with the vision that you've seen, with the actual clearing that you've been in and experienced, you think about those 6 people manacled in the exact same position as those skeletons were, down to the crossed legs on one of the bodies, where the person's throat was slit, they clearly died, expired, and the skeleton remains in the exact same position. It's fairly easy for you with that thought process and with that score to say that this vision almost appeared to be something that was not so much of a vision, a mirage, but more of a memory of the past. And the final comments that were made with "then we'll return," and there being no further bodies, no further disturbance, it's almost like that never came to fruition. That the people never returned.
Well, hang on. I've just got a question. Of all the people we saw manacled, was any of them Crest?
No.
With Ayaan-Jin walking back towards the clearing.
Well, I mean, it's difficult to say. It's difficult to tell with a skeleton. But you inspected his wrists. He was on the beach. He's very much alive now.
What I mean
it would be a vast stretch to say it's Crest.
Looking at the faces in the vision versus Crest's face is what I was thinking. Sorry, that's what I was alluding to. With that, I'm just going to kind of look at Thatch.
Torran has X-ray.
I'm going to look at Thatch, pull out 2 gold coins, and go, Thatch, you a gambling man?
Oh, talk dirty to me, darling.
two gold pieces on the line. I'm wrong, they're all yours. I'm right, you owe me 2 gold.
What are the stakes? What's the game, my friend?
Something interesting happens at dusk in that clearing.
Ayan's already on his way. He's already crashing through the undergrowth, pushing his way through.
I haven't known you long, my friend, but I knew there was something I liked about you.
And with that, I'm gonna take. You say you got your 2 gold on you,
Always.
and I'm gonna pass them over to Crest and say, Crest, you're the bank.
I think Ayaan would have heard this in the background as he was walking away. He wouldn't turn around to look, but he would have heard that exchange. He'll smile, a little smile to himself, and think, that was quite clever of Torran. He's managed to bribe him into doing what he wants him to do.
You're the bank. Whoever's right, you give the gold to.
Oh, this
Keeps
I can do this.
Keep sailors honest. Go on then, Thatch. Let's go see who's right.
I have a small question before we move off. I'm sorry. I think this may be slightly important if you're giving me more things. Do you have a small belt pouch or something I could borrow, maybe? My hands are getting a little full.
Unclip one of my many pouches.
I thought you were going to lead with fanny pack there, Gus. I'm sorry.
My little skull and crossbows bum bag. Yes.
Thank you.
Oh, jeez.
Presumably this is one of your very special, cannot be opened by other people pouches, yes. And with that, he shall put the coins in there, and we shall put the crystal shard in there if it'll fit. And
yeah, it will.
Then he'll
Okay.
draw it tight, put a very secure knot on it before moving off.
Yeah.
Okay. Torran is going to take.
I will remind you in the future of the time that you asked for a favour, and I acquiesce.
Torran's going to take one of his daggers, take the dagger out of the sheath, and pass the sheath to Crest. No point you carrying that around if you're not going to end up stabbing yourself, because you've already managed to stab yourself once, Crest. Come on, let's be some safety here, boy.
It's not the dagger, but I thank you.
That's still bloody sharp, that dagger.
And he will take a moment to put it in there. Yes, very.
Okay.
Yeah, he'll attach that to his waist.
So as you set off, Mike, I'm going to award you a Dawn die for your exceptional knife safety and also brilliant manipulation. So you can have another Dawn die there. Because that was beautiful. Okay, so you turn back and proceed the 1.5-hour trek back to the clearing. It's in a way easier. You've already cut through the jungle where you've needed to here, so the journey is straight. But as you progress, you still hear the boom of cannon fire behind you, and this isn't regular cannon fire. It's supposed like it's not just one shot. Sometimes you get a double shot, a bang bang. It's very irregular. But as you return to the clearing, you enter back into this space. And what are you aiming to do here?
Torran is going to get comfy with his back to a tree and wait for nightfall.
Okay. So...
And take a short
rest. Let me just check something very quickly, because this might affect something. So just give me a second, because I want to give you... If it is what I think it is, I want to give you the benefit here of reviewing. Okay, so that seems excessive. Let me just double check something. So I need to look this one up.
We're all good. We're not going anywhere.
Torran is going to pick a spot where he has a good view of the clearing, of all the areas of the clearing. There. I've just put myself on the map where he's basically stopping and taking a short rest and just having a moment.
Okay, so what I will say is this is going to be a rules thing, okay? And if you wish to retcon your action, I will let you do it now, okay? So, by the rules, per day, a character requires a gallon per day in hot weather. So, normally per day, it will take a water skin and you will be fine. I'm not going to worry too much about hot weather because this is generally a tropical environment. You are mostly all used to it. So you will probably have slightly bigger water skins to account for it because there's no point you carrying around a water skin that isn't going to take enough water for a day in this environment. So your water skins will each hold enough water for you for one day. Who has a water skin?
Ayaan has one.
Ayaan has one.
Tipper has one.
Tipper has one. Does Silas have one? No, because Silas would have taken his water source from the ship. Now, Crest definitely doesn't have one unless he's smuggling it down the front of his trousers. So...
You could call it water skin, I guess.
Oh!
It's just not a very big one and not very...
Unless a
not
water
very
skin
useful
comes
right now.
standing in a burglar's pack, then no.
I am tempted to deduct from your pool for that one. That was unpleasant. So, you are in a scenario where per day you each need a water skins full of water. Okay? You currently have 2 between the 4 of you, which means at the end of this day you will take a level of exhaustion because you have not had enough water to keep yourselves going. Should you choose to double back to the clearing and wait until dusk, you will be going into the next day with a level of exhaustion, with trek through the jungle and whatever else lays ahead. So I'm going to lay that out as a rules thing at this point. If you wish to retcon anything, you may do so. I'm not going to kind of say, oh, you've made your decision and that's that. You've make your bed and lie in it. But I'm just putting that out on the table because at the end of this day of play, you will take exhaustion. All of you.
In which case, then, no, Tipper would have said, let's go to the Wildflower and get supplies.
Oh.
I do apologise. I didn't take water skins into consideration because...
No, see, this is why I bring it up now, because I sat there and I thought, well, you haven't got water skins, you're low on supplies. You might be fine for rations, but water, So...
And Silas would have very much made a point of pointing that out, that we didn't have enough.
I will point that out to Crest.
In that case, Ayaan would not have trekked off ahead. He'd just be standing where they were.
Yeah. Can I just ask though? I don't know about Crest. But would anyone have enough survival knowledge to be able to extract water, to know how to gain water when in a jungle environment?
I would say probably Ayaan would, and so would... no, so I'd say it would just be Ayaan.
Yeah.
But...
Really, I tend to frequent the pub a lot.
That's his watering hole, yeah.
He knows how to sniff out a pub on a deserted island, but he can't sniff out a pool of water. And no, Tipper.
Yeah, I would say that Ayaan would. Yeah, I would say that Ayaan would be the only one with knowledge to be able to find water. If that knowledge is actually applicable and can be utilised is obviously a different question.
Entirely fair. I think if all this was pointed out, Crest would perhaps reluctantly understand that this is perhaps more important than anything else. You can always come back to a clearing. You can't necessarily go back and get another drink. So, yeah, he will understand and agree to accompany them to the
Although
ship.
Tipper is more than happy to accompany him back to the clearing once we have enough supplies.
Which means that
There's gold coins on the line
doesn't get
now.
his.
No,
he
I'm
hasn't.
still gonna.
Because that wouldn't
I'm
have
still
happened.
gonna make that bet with Thatch, because Thatch will still sit there and go,
Okay.
"Well, I'm not coming." I'll be
God.
like, two gold pieces, something happens.
Yeah.
Well, I've got 4 gold.
That's going to make editing that lot really interesting.
It's not. I'm just going to leave it in because it's a general discussion. So
Yeah, he'd have been sat there going,
So
"Why would
you
I go
don't
back?"
head back to the clearing.
No, we carry
Okay.
on to the wildflower. Sorry.
Plus, it's less paid to edit it that way.
Exactly. And to be fair, it's a good conversation because it's like, you don't have liquid. That's fine.
Yes.
You know. Okay, so you continue to make your way through the jungle in that case.
Yep.
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 Okay, so would you take a break at any point, or would you decide to just walk all the way through?
On the basis,
It's not
that
going to affect
a-
anything mechanically.
Yeah, on the basis that it's just another 4 hours, and that obviously, if people like need a rest, I'd suggest just ploughing through.
For Tipper,
As far
Okay.
as his...
Yeah, unless something happens on the way and our shoes are no longer viable for some reason.
You have shoes?
I have very, very nicely decorated shoes. In fact, got a nice little spiderweb pattern all over them.
Very cute. So, just to confirm, you are all just deciding to just continue walking. You're not taking a short rest. You're just powering on through to where you think the wildflower is.
Yes. And maybe just take a moment when we hear the sound again just to reposition ourselves, obviously, and make
Yeah.
sure we head in the right direction each time.
Okay.
I think can Iron check for water sources en route?
En route, absolutely. You can make me a survival check using your knowledge.
Survival check using knowledge. Oh,
So just a survival check.
okay.
It was the knowledge was the flavour bit.
Okay. Survival. Here we go. That's an 11 plus 5 for a 16.
16. Okay. Yeah. So, yeah, I'd say you encompass the usual methods that you would employ if you needed to find water in a pinch. Methods that you have been taught, and you try to find water. Any water that you attempt to find from the ground is this purple colour, this weird salty oily film. And when you go looking for anything like coconuts or any kind of water hoarding plant life, when you can't find any coconuts. These trees don't seem to be fruiting. They don't seem to be creating anything. There's no output. They're just existing, almost frozen in their current state. And any normal way that you would find water, you would instead find either nothing or this purple, salty, oily shit.
Well, I have been looking as we're going, and there is no water, no birds, no animals, just nothing.
I don't think
Let us...
This is not good.
I don't think we're going to find any supplies until we get back to the wildflower.
Let us hope they have some.
Okay. So as you continue your journey through the forest, through the jungle, you still hear these intermittent boom, boom, boom. This intermittent cannon fire, which doesn't. It's again not a salvo. It's not consistent. It's very much very random, very sporadic. But you are able to kind of quite easily orientate from it. You don't really stray off course because you can hear where this cannon fire is coming from. You can hear it getting louder and louder and louder and louder as you approach. And It's by the time roughly maybe 7.5 hours have passed overall since you woke up in the presumed morning on the beach, and the overall ambient lighting is starting to dim. It's no longer quite bright and quite golden. I say golden, you get that feeling of brightness from it. It's still light, but it seems like the glow is lower in the sky. It's dimmer. It almost takes on this deeper purplish hue as you think you're kind of coming towards the close of the day almost. It definitely appears to give that kind of feeling. And could I please have a perception check from everyone using your perception baseline? You do now have 10 dawn dice to spend, by the way.
I have...
Yes, I will... Sorry. Yes, I will use a dawn dice for Ayaan, if I may. Please.
No, we don't have 10. We have 11 dawn dice. Natty 20.
Oh, you beauty. Right, yep, you've got 11 dawn dice. Okay.
Actually, I'm going to retcon that. No, I won't use a dawn dice. Sorry, I'll retcon that.
Okay.
I'll retcon that.
So what have we got? Crest.
14 on the dice, plus 4 for 18.
Nice. Okay. Silas?
We have a 7 plus 5 for a 13. I can't roll above single digits.
Shh. And what's your perception baseline? Is that higher or lower?
Yeah, that would be... That'll actually be 15.
Okay, so 15. And then we have Ayaan-Jin.
Just remind me again. I'm just rolling against my baseline of 12. I'm not adding anything to
So you
that.
add you roll a perception check. If you get...
And I'm adding the perception bonus.
And if you get less than your perception baseline, then you just use your perception baseline.
Yeah, in that case, it'll just be a baseline of 12.
12.
I rolled a 3 plus a 2 for 5. Yep, so
Yikes.
it'll just be my baseline of 12.
Yeah. So anyone who has got above 16, which is only Torran and only Crest. I don't know why I said it in that format, but I'm sticking with it. So the two of you, as you've rolled over the 16 DC, as you approach, you think, you can't have much further to go by this point. There cannot be much more jungle to traverse through. And it is as you are thinking these thoughts, you're perhaps both at the front, you're forging ahead, Torran, you're cutting down things. You are hearing this cannon fire, and you hear it again, and it is loud. Not as loud as if you were standing right by it, but it is almost certainly within reach. But accompanied with that sound, the pair of you hear the faint ringing of metal and yelling and screaming coming from ahead of you.
Okay, draw me swords.
Yeah, I think Crest will just look back at the other two who have not heard this, obviously. You listen, you hear this? Your friends, they must be in trouble. We must hurry. And he will draw the dagger from this new sheath and start following on to Torran.
Okay. What are Ayaan-Jin and Silas doing?
Ayaan-Jin is busy furrowing his brow. He's eyeing the others.
You want to run towards screaming?
He's... I think he would ready himself. He'd take a tighter grip on his trident and move forwards.
Okay. So.
Silas is going to try and disappear into the underbrush.
And head back to the clearing, yeah?
On his own. Okay, so your next actions. What pace are you operating at? And what order are you traversing in?
discretion.
Ayaan happy to go up front. If nobody else is offering to go forth, Ayaan will step forward.
I'm just going to put Silas last.
I imagine.
Yeah, you just see an uprooted tree wandering along behind you.
I imagine.
Silas
just a
behind
bush
it.
with a pair of legs out the bottom of it. Just
Yeah.
down.
Okay, so Ayaan-Jin is offering to go first.
I think it goes tonic, tipper, crest, Silas. I think is the way it's probably
Tonic?
Gin and tonic.
Well, that sounds like my kind of cocktail.
Right, very, very funny, Mike. You're not getting a dice for that.
Don't care.
I will take them all away.
No, please don't.
Little plus side, mate. At least you shouldn't take any psychic damage.
Okay, so the order we're going Ayaan-Jin, we're going Torran, Crest, Silas. What pace are you operating at? Are you hustling? Are you keeping it the same pace? Are you moving slower? How are we moving through the jungle?
I think he'd be moving steadily forwards. I think Ayaan would move steadily forwards, but with purpose, if that's possible.
Steadily.
60.
He'd probably pick up the pace a little bit.
I could do about 150 feet a turn at the moment if I want to.
Fucking hell.
Oh no, I can only do that once.
You go
Well,
first.
there's
No,
room to
I can only
squeeze
do that
past
once
me.
per turn. So actually, it's 110 feet per turn.
I think it's safe to say Crest will keep up with Ayaan-Jin.
Yeah.
Torran will just
I
set
can
the
be pretty
pace.
nippy when I want to be.
Yeah, I think me and Silas are the two faster ones with our rogue actions, so we'll just set the pace a bit. But yeah, we just go basically 60 foot a turn.
Well, I'm trying to keep low and out of sight, so I'm probably going a little bit slower.
Okay.
Right,
so
sorry, I'm confused. Who's going first?
Ayaan-Jin.
So Ayaan-Jin's going first. So
Oh,
what I'm going to
okay.
say, within your general movement, your general travel movement, you're going to be moving at a quickened pace based on this. Okay?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So you're going to be moving at a slightly quickened pace, which means you're going to take disadvantage on things like stealth and perception, but we're not going to worry about that too much. Because it is as you are travelling at this quickened pace, the sounds become more prevalent. You can hear the sounds of clashing steel. You can hear the screams and grunts of men and women as they are clearly engaged in fighting. And it is as you come to the tree line, the trees are thinning out. They are becoming sparser. The ground beneath your feet is turning from loamy soil to softer sand, which sinks underfoot and almost overbalances you when you first hit it with that first footfall, as it gives unexpectedly. And as you breach the tree line in that order, Ayaan-Jin first, Torran, then Crest, then Silas, you are met with a scene of utter chaos. In front of you is a large, wide beach. The lilac-tinted soft sands, almost glittering with a more purple hue now that the light levels are appearing to drop. But that's not what catches your attention. What catches your attention is the multiple men and women dressed in the uniform of the wildflower, all of whom are either engaged in combat with some foreign beings. They look to be almost built out of various materials: driftwood, large shells, amalgamations of coral and seaweed, even sea creatures themselves, blackened and almost decomposing. The smell of rot is strong on the beach, as well as the scent of blood, as you can see the crew members just engaged in all-out combat. Some are on the floor, clearly wounded, clearly badly hurt, groaning or moaning or even laying still in unconsciousness or death, you cannot tell. And your attention is immediately drawn by an almighty roar as the captain of the wildflower stands there surrounded by 10 of these creatures as he wields a large double-headed axe and he swipes with a backhanded swing, catching 2 in the midriff and flinging them across the beach in front of you as he roars and turns to take on more. The scene is chaotic. Some of the crew who clearly use magic have set fire to some of these beings, the driftwood igniting, the salt-laden wood burning blue, as almost the chemical reactions change the flame. And this is just what greets you in front of you. As you look out to the horizon, you can see that almost not run aground, but close in the shallows, is the form of the wildflower. She has taken some damage, clearly the storm, and you hear the boom of a cannon as a ball whizzes out and completely obliterates one of these beings, not 50 foot from you. The ball obliterating them and then digging deep into the sand with a vast spray. And also in this scene, as you just try and process everything that is going on, you can see that the wildflower herself is under attack. Large, knotty, purple-veined, thick, rubbery-looking tentacles are laying across her decks. 4 of them, by the looks of it, as they almost appear to... They're trying to move the ship itself, and it's moving in the water backwards and forwards as they appear to be attempting to plunder her. One of the tentacles almost peeling off the big suckers with a disgusting pop, 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 pop as they peel from the boards, and the actual tentacle itself rears back and then slams through a gun port, piercing deep inside as you hear screams from inside the deck, and you can see that it looks like the tentacles which are trying to drag the ship down, break it apart, have been repeating this motion, taking out cannons and sending the men inside who are attempting to send out cannonballs and attack back, sending them scrambling and trying to reset themselves for the next salvo. And this is the scene that greets you as you breach onto the shore. What are you doing?
Darlings, you started the party without me.
Nobody looks at you.
Question.
A bush just says that.
Roughly, sort of, how many of these sort of attackers are we looking at? Roughly, we're looking dozens, scores, hundreds. Scores,
not hundreds, but scores. The captain himself, this big man. He's taking on 10 on his own, and you can see the other crew members who are dotted around, who are still standing. At a quick glance, you'd say maybe 18 or 19 of them still stood and fighting. They look visibly exhausted, like they've been doing this all day. They are beating back waves of these creatures, and some of them are engaging 3 at a time, and you see as one person fells the final opponent in front of them. They try to make a dive to check on someone who's on the floor, but as they make that dive, they have to reel back and take up another defensive stance as more of these creatures emerge, and they are emerging from the sea, almost appearing out of the water and just rolling up the shore like the waves.
I might be about to do something stupid. I don't know if they'll do any difference at all.
Okay.
I was going to do something sensible.
Panic.
Okay. So, obviously, he's been hanging onto this conch horn at his belt on a loop for a while.
Mm-hmm.
I think, without waiting to see what his new companions are doing, he's going to take the conch horn. He's very quickly going to take something out of it, rattle out of it, and put it in that belt pouch. He's going to exchange it for an item that's in the belt pouch, and he's going to blow the horn loudly.
Okay.
As he does so, he's going to hold up the shard he picked up earlier.
This is just epic sax guy right now. Is that what you are? You're a bard with the saxophone?
Michael there.
I don't know if these things are after this, but this is obviously a valuable item, and if they are searching for it or something like that, and Crest is operating entirely on instinct here. He has been since he woke up. Somewhat less tuneful than that. I think Horn of Gondor, and he'll just stand there holding this up for all to see and see if it draws him away from attacking the crew.
Right, so your pure intention with this is you want to basically announce your presence and say, here's this thing.
Yeah, you guys might not want to be here if they come this way.
Okay, so you do that. You blow your conch horn, and it is surprisingly loud for a conch horn. It reverberates across the beach, and there is a pause in fighting, but not from the creatures, from the crew of the Wildflower. As some of them almost stumble, they misstep as they're like, what the fuck is that sound? And they look around and they see the four of you stood at the tree line. Silas they recognise, and they get some looks like, oh fucking hell, here we go, as he turns up now. Then you get Torran and Ayaan-Jin, who they recognise as obviously the people that they were directed to escort. And then they see you, and they've got no clue who you are, but you're holding a conch horn and you've just blown it very, very loudly.
Oops.
Tipper's just going to reach over with like the with his elbow. Just go. I got my sword. I got my scimitar, my rapier out. He's going to reach over his elbow, just catch Ayaan-Jin on the side with his elbow and say, "You might not believe in her, but she does help, and you get jump cast on you. Once per turn, you can expend 10 foot of your movement to jump 30 feet for free."
Ooh.
And that is for 10. That is for 10 turns. So now you can keep pace with me, basically. And then he's going to proceed to shout a battle cry. I'll record a battle cry not here when my son is going to sleep. And he is going to move rogue cunning action dash, I think it is, and essentially bomb it 60 feet towards the battle line.
Okay, so before you take that action, you can still cast jump, but before you take that action, as you are just about to release the battle cry, as it dies in your throat like a strangled seagull, you hear a roar from the captain, and the captain is a Leonin. He's a big man. He has this big mane of hair, and he's seasoned. You can see the grey around his muzzle, kind of flecking and peppering his mane, as he hoiks another one of these creatures, flinging him clean 60 foot across the beach with his axe. Just absolutely launching him away from him, as he's taking on the brunt of combat here. He is deliberately stepping in front of some of the more exhausted looking crew members, deliberately taking some of the opponents to obviously fight himself with his strength, and generally protecting his crew while dealing as much damage as he possibly can. He turns to face you, looking, eyes quickly flitting about. Silas, Torran, Ayaan-Jin, the two people that he's been tasked to bring to Vithora. This one person who he has no recollection of, who has blown a conch horn but appears to be quite happily standing amidst the three of you. He looks to Silas, roaring at you with a deep voice. "Get to the ship! Get to the ship! Get the cannons going! The team's under pressure! Get going! We'll clear a path!" And with that, he roars. Obviously, this is a big, booming voice. The entire beach hears it. And very quickly, Silas, you see the rest of the team, the rest of the crew respond, immediately beginning to push or draw any opponents away, creating almost like a central corridor down the beach for you to run down should you choose to. They're not going to stop the creatures emerging from the sea, and you're going to have to find a way to get to the ship yourself. But they're creating an opening. What do all of you do? You have choices here, you have options here, but what are you all doing?
Right, gonna quickly survey the beach here. Obviously, the crew and that are on the beach, and that is there any visible way that they got here in one of the landing craft or anything from the ship, or?
So you can't see a visible. Well, actually, you probably can see one. But from the state of some of the crew members, you can see some wounds which appear to be older. And you can probably assume that some of them did manage to stay aboard the ship and ended up around this side of the island on the ship and came ashore. Some of them probably got thrown off like you did to different sides of the island and have managed to trek their way across, heading towards the wildflower where they've heard the sound of cannon fire, and obviously they've been at a closer point and they've reached there before you have.
So we're revisiting the tree catapult idea.
Okay.
Can you say we?
Quick assessment. How far is it from where we're stood to the surf?
To the surf, about 40 feet.
Okay, so... And how far from
the beach is wide, so this combat is...
It's spread across the beach, is it?
Yeah, so you've got crew members who are possibly fighting maybe even 80 or 90 foot across the beach on the far extremes, but it does seem to be kind of focused in the centre here.
Okay.
You're saying that these beings that they're fighting and that are made of flotsam and jetsam and driftwood and stuff like that. Are there bits of them littered around and any sizable kind of pieces of driftwood that have been left?
Yeah, so from some of them where you assume some of them have been, certainly from, you see this one that the captain has flung 60 foot clean across the beach, and it lands and it basically explodes. And bits of driftwood planks tumble off of it, seaweed flops wetly to the ground. Some of these sea creatures which have clearly died and are rotting just kind of almost slough off of it. So you can see that some of these beings, some of these creatures, yeah, they've definitely left driftwood detritus, but nothing particularly big. The biggest you might find is possibly a beam the length of a man's arm, which was clearly being used as an arm or a club of some kind.
I can still use that as a floaty.
Is that what you're looking for?
What I will say, if that's the reason, is that the wildflower is not. She's not run aground fully, but she is aground far
she's
enough
in the shallows.
that you. Yeah, absolutely. You would be able to run through the water. You might get up to mid-thigh depth, but you would be able to run through the water.
Oh, okay.
Tipper is very, very accustomed to receiving orders from a captain, and is also very, very accustomed to following said orders. So he's simply going to shout to the wildflower and run for that.
Yeah.
So he's going to drop the jump on Jin, and then proceed to just beeline for the wildflower.
Yeah.
Okay, so Torran is running.
Yeah. Silas, he's been given an order by the man that signs his check. He's going.
Silas is going.
Ayaan-Jin, being a military-trained person, will just follow suit.
Okay, and Crest.
So he isn't militarily trained, or at least he certainly doesn't remember being so. But you can see these other people making a run for it, and survival is a thing. But before I commit to that, are there several of these creatures in our path?
So, in your path, direct path to the wildflower, no. They have been already at this point with the captain roaring out. They've already been kind of almost baited or lured or pushed away. So there is a 10-foot clear corridor to the surf and to in theory, to the ship beyond.
But they're clearly struggling, right?
Oh yes, the crew. If you were to look at them, the crew are visibly exhausted. They are battered, they are tired. The ones who are still on their feet are haggard looking. They look like they have been fighting non-stop for hours.
So, Crest obviously is going to follow, but he's going to follow slightly more slowly. He's not going to dash. He's going to advance and he's going to cast a spell, which hopefully might help.
Okay.
He's going to cast Shatter, aiming for some of these shell-like creatures if possible. He's got a 10-foot radius, so he'll aim it a little bit ahead of the line of crew that are obviously fighting to let us through, try and relieve some pressure off them, so hopefully they can make their way back to the ship without dying.
Okay. What are the specifics on shatter then?
Okay, so it creates a loud noise from a point within 60 feet.
Okay.
Each creature within 10-foot radius makes a Constitution saving throw or takes 3d8 thunder damage on a failed save, or half on a successful one. A construct has disadvantage on the save. If there's any non-magical
Okay.
objects there that aren't being caught, worn, or carried, they can potentially take the damage if they're in the area.
Okay, so you're able to cast a spell, and it goes off with a splitting crack. You are able to catch a good deal of these creatures in the radius, and that was a 10 on a d10. As you cast the spell, you're able to catch a lot. And the crack goes off, and once the ringing has dissipated from your ears and you're kind of like wincing, you turn and you see that you've felled 10 of these creatures. They have almost kind of exploded, like driftwood has flown everywhere. They're, seaweed. They've just basically, I'm trying to think of the word. They've fallen apart with the force of your magic.
They've shattered.
But as soon as you stand there, they've shattered, yes. As soon as you stand there and think, well, that's relieved some of the pressure, very quickly more appear, piling on even more pressure, and basically refill the ranks.
Time to run then. Okay. You tried?
You did. Okay, so very quickly, Torran, you're taking all of your movement to get. Are you taking all your movement to get to the ship? Are you?
Yeah. So I've used my action already to give Ayaan-Jin jump, so I'm moving 60 foot. So wherever 60 foot takes me.
Okay. So I think what I'm going to do for ease is I'm going to say you are all able to get to the ship. You are all able to climb up the side of the ship using the rope ladders, various rope ladders that have been hung down, kind of torn bits of rigging. You are all able to get up the side of the ship and arrive basically at the same time. Anyone who's faster, like Torran and Silas, you'd have probably held back to wait for Ayaan-Jin and for Crest to catch up with you, so that you're not, stepping onto the deck of the ship cold and without any backup. And what I'm going to do very quickly is we are going to, let me just move your characters on Roll20. As you emerge aboard the deck of the Wildflower, you are greeted with destruction. The boards have been pulled in some cases. Any cannons which did sit atop the deck have been demolished. Any of the light guns have been pulled, twisted. They have almost been crumpled down off their stands, their stanchions. The masts remain intact, although they have taken severe damage. There is severe splintering, and you can see where the black painted wood has almost been, where something has hit it and it's almost kind of splintered, revealing the white wood underneath, almost like pulling off a hangnail. Like the black bit is like the skin, and then like the white wood underneath is like the flesh underneath. It's really gross. And the deck is in disarray. There are barrels of supplies knocked all over the place, even though they were anchored down with utter precision. And in general, it is a mess. It looks like 4 very large purple tentacles have swept across the place and levelled it. And that is where we are going to leave the session, because I'm not starting combat with 10 minutes.
Surprise!
I don't know. This is us. We can get through.
That's good, Jess.
We can get through combat in 10 minutes.
TPK, TPK.
Masts fall and you all die.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Okay. If you enjoyed this episode and want to support the show, you can find us on Patreon, where you can access behind-the-scenes content. You can also join our Discord to chat with us, talk theories, and keep up with campaign news. Links to both are in the episode bio. The next episode will be out on Tuesday the 12th of May. We hope to see you there. Until then, keep rolling.
Welcome to the Goblin's Notebook, an elite tabletop campaign planner and note-taking tool. The Goblin's Notebook offers a single-pane view of your tabletop RPG campaign notes for pre-session planning, in-session note-taking, and post-session recapping. Keep all of your tabletop RPG campaign notes in a single, easy-to-navigate place. Make connections between creatures, locations, or quests, enabling you to easily jump from object to object, keeping a precise journal during play, and offering the ability to share your notes or handouts with others. Whether you are a game master who wants to plan ahead, or a player taking notes during play, the Goblin's Notebook is the indispensable must-have tool. You can find the Goblin's Notebook at www.the-goblin.net.